Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the Good Living Podcast. I'm feeling good this morning. I didn't go to church, obviously. Obviously, that doesn't sound right. Yeah, but the truth is, some things just don't fit into your plans for the week, and I'm sure I'm going to make it up to God eventually. But however, today, a certain idea just came into my head after seeing some headlines about campaigns in churches. And what do you think? I want to know what people think, and I want to say what I think about campaigns in churches. Electoral campaigns is what I'm talking about, and like pastors and people like that trying to share with their congregation what they think about the election and who they think is the perfect candidate and stuff like that. Because I've seen online that INEC has condemned it. It was in the headlines of one of the papers, I think Punch or Vanguard or one of those papers this morning. But before I even go further, I'm feeling excited this morning because I've missed somebody that hasn't been around for a while, and I'm going to see them today, so that's good. And a special shout out to my guy Baba T Tengu. His birthday is today, 28. Happy birthday, live long. I wish you a long and fulfilled life. So let's get straight to it. There are certain things that I think have to happen with force. Like some things have to be taken by force. Some things have to go through radical changes. And one of those things would be the turnover of power in this country. We have to understand that this is a Cold War. These elections coming up in 2023 is a Cold War. It's a war between those people who are trying to eat this country down and those who are trying to salvage it. And we've seen over the years where money has been misappropriated. Like, our politicians used to steal money. Since I was born till today, it's been the anthem in my ears. It's been what I've known, or what I've grown up to know, that our politicians would take money for a public project, divide it into two, keep one in their pockets, and then use the other half to do a substandard job, is what they've been doing. And it's been the norm, right? And somehow they manage to pay salaries and things don't really deteriorate quickly or that bad. And there have been people who have been saying this country always gets worse. It gets worse, it doesn't get better. And as well, we had a family friend, I don't say her name, but God rest her soul. And I remember I was in my mom's shop one time. This was like 4 to 6 years ago. I can't remember which date exactly, but it was so long ago. And I think it was towards the election period. I think it was when we were trying to elect him Buhari for the first time. So that would be like 8 years ago at least. Damn. And she was saying, this country, that we should stop, we should vote Buhari because he looks like the better candidate, but we should really stop putting our hopes up. Like, this country won't get any better. It doesn't get any better. And I was thinking she was very pessimistic, but I was still a teenager then, so I was just like, why is she so negative? And look at what it has turned out to be, although I don't think that's going to be the case henceforth if the right person wins. And I don't call any names at this stage of the podcast, but the right person, I don't think that's going to be the case. However, she passed away in 2015, December, so that will be like later that year, I guess. But what she said came to pass, and it's been worse ever since. So I grew up knowing this to be the norm. Like, politicians steal money and they don't pay ASU, because I don't know what the deal with ASU has been right from time. I just remember my sister suffered from that first big 6-month strike where they were in school, they were at home for so long, even before I even got into uni. And now there's this one that has dragged on for God knows how long, way more than that. And even in my school days, I saw strikes myself. And then from all of that to the strikes, and then to payment of salaries being a problem. And I thought that payment of salaries being a problem was a Benue thing, because if I go back home to the east, I don't see people complaining about that. So I knew that the governor was trash. Governors have always been trash in Abia State, to be fair. But then payment of salaries had not been an issue then, wasn't an issue then. And it was only a Benue issue, at least around the time when I was, say, in SS3 to now. That was when I started seeing that, you could work for months and not get paid your salary. And I used to wonder, how do these people even survive? Until now, I still do wonder. But clearly, they just go into massive debt, and everybody is owing everybody. So, but it gets worse. Now, our country is at a stage where they are taxing you. If you own a business, you will realize that this country wants to kill you, guy. If this country wants to kill you, they will take from you and take from you. Even if you're just a single person hustling, this country will take from you. And as they're taking from you, they're not paying salaries. They're not building any new roads. They're not building any new schools. They're not launching any new hospitals, nothing. And then they're spending this money on another country. They're spending this money on terrorists. Like, bro, this is my podcast, so I'll say what I want to say because this is what I think. They're spending our money, our taxes, our everything. Well, this country is like a business. Every country is like a business. If the country is making money, then you can use it to like do stuff and improve the country. And if the country is losing money, then things just get bad. Because now people who are trying to make money from other means, they're the ones now you're catching to try and like fill up the gaps that you're opening. So this country is selling oil less than they are buying. Like, we're producing the oil, and then the rate at which we produce and export, we buy higher than that. We buy the finished product higher than that. So we're just losing in our major export, the major source of our income. We are losing. And then the money in the reserve, they will take billions of it and do something somebody cannot explain. I saw the other day, I don't know if it's confirmed news, that they used a certain amount of money to clear grass. You cleared grasses with billions of naira. Do they think we are mad? Oh wait, are they mad? And then this other one that was confirmed news about our country buying the latest Prado for Niger. If it's not a terrorist thing, if it's not that this country has a deal, imagine your government has a deal with terrorists. Why would you take your national funds where students have been at home for 7 months? And I know the topic today is about campaigning in churches in INEC, and I'm trying to land on my opinion and why I'm choosing my opinion. That's why I'm explaining this and I'm going around. So, if your country is the type that would negotiate with terrorists, is the type that would take taxes from its citizens, not do anything for those citizens, not roads, not nothing, and then use that money to spend on boosting another country's security while its own is failing. That's the kind of country you live in. A few months ago, there's a particular route I take to work and back. And a few months ago, I noticed that the government was like fixing the road. They were not fixing the road, obviously. They were patching it up. It was spoiled. There were lots of potholes in it, and then they were patching it up. I think they did that around town, so they patched up roads around town. Well, guess what? This was this year still. Last month, I just noticed that all those roads have started opening up again. There's this big pothole in the middle of the road. There, just before BSU first gate. If you're coming from like Judges Quarters, just before BSU, there's this big pothole. And if your motor is that you were used to, because I think everybody has known that the hole has opened up again because they filled it up before. But the hole is wide now. It's like an unfinished well in the middle of the road. That's how bad it is. And then there's like little children like that around the road. Some that they fixed or they claim to fix just a few months ago. That's how bad the quality of work is. And I said in one video earlier that I made about how somebody made a road for a community simply because his company was like spoiling the road for them. And that road is still working till today. Not a single pothole. Like, if a road is substandard here, even if potholes don't develop from it, when cars start treading on that road, the part where cars drove or drive on normally begins to dip. You begin to see like the road won't be smooth or straight anymore. That is even unacceptable still. But in this country, we don't even care. As long as the potholes are not plenty, we take it. So our standards have been so reduced that we don't understand how bad we have it. Somebody was talking about washing yesterday, and we were talking about washing with hands, and I think he was partly surprised that everybody would have a washing machine in Europe, because I just told him that, look, it's only in Africa that we will soak clothes inside, like the majority of our clothes, and the majority of us do this, soak our clothes inside bucket, use our hands to wash it, use our hands to rinse and go and dry. Like, the world has advanced way more than that. Everybody outside this country, let me just say outside Africa, because I'm pretty sure in South Africa, a lot of people, the standard is to use a washing machine. That's what technology has done. But country is so bad now. You want to use money. Which money do you want to buy washing machine? Who will give you? But so we are so used to like the way that they used to do it in the streams in the olden days, because we've not advanced, because our government won't let us advance. This is the same government that just because you were protesting for freedom to end police brutality, something that is a norm, something that you shouldn't even ask for, they came and shot at you, guy. And then somebody has the effrontery, the balls to get up and say you cannot campaign in churches. I will campaign wherever the fuck I want. That's freedom of speech, by the way. And while I still have my reservations about how religious, and I say that with inverted commas around my mouth, this country is, we are failing so badly, and we are so religious. This is irony. I mean, God is supposed to save us, in it. I beg you, we shall be in it. But God is supposed to save us, and this is what I'm not discrediting God forbid. But what I'm saying is, we are putting so much hope on somebody to help us, and we don't heaven helps those who helps themselves. So we have to like make effort first. But Nigerians are lazy. I'm sorry, we are hardworking people when it comes to trying to hustle and make money for ourselves. But when it comes to making a change for your country, we are lazy. When they say protest, 1 million march, we are like radical, and I'm guilty of this too. I stayed home waiting for my U-ball to start when people were marching outside. Like, we are radical, and I'm actually going to go and vote. But the level of laziness I had to not go for that march, there are people whose levels are a lot higher than that, and they would campaign online and they will not go out to vote. God help us. And so I think that INEC statement was basically to try and tone down, and I hate to think this, that maybe it's a show of bias, because nobody is campaigning for Tinubu in any church. You know this. And Peter Obi has been to like 3 churches now where the crowd went buck wild for him, and that went viral. So I think they've seen that, and they're like trying to discourage campaigns in churches. I say fuck that. Because you know that your candidate or whoever INEC prefers, this country is so decayed that we know what they are doing now. And it's disheartening. They know that their candidate is not the one getting the attention. If he will go to the mosque, he will go to the church, people will love him. It will go viral, and there's nothing you can do about it, because it's freedom of speech, of expression, of everything. All right, we are free to do what we want. And if a pastor decides in his church that he built from the ground up, that he wants to say, I endorse this candidate for presidency, he's the best candidate, then so be it. He has the right to do that. And that is just the exercising your right aspect of it. The radical change aspect of it, probably, like I said, the standards have dropped and we don't expect much anymore. And so for that to change, I think we have to elect somebody who can raise the standard, so that anybody who wants to beat him or replace him in an election knows that, I have to do better than this man. I have to do what this man has done and then some. So, and for the narrative to change from what I've just explained to the standard a country should be running at, we have to make radical changes. Protests have to be carried out. 1 million marches have to be carried out. People have to come out en masse to vote. Protests have to be carried out. And probably some politicians have to see actual violence meted out on them, because honestly, look, they say vengeance is of the Lord, but I think I'm not like 100% on board with that in this case, because these people have to see some of their punishment on earth here, and I'd love to see it. However, I think in this country, we can campaign for whoever we want, anywhere we want. Be it in church, be it in the mosque, be it at the workplace. If you're a boss, you can tell your people, because that is how much you want this change. We can tell your staff, for you to keep working here beyond February 2023, you have to have gone out and voted. You cannot tell people who to vote in your office. But me, I'll say this, my staff, if you're going to support somebody else that is going to bring more doom and gloom to this country, I'm not going to pay you to do that. I'm going to sack you. Sorry, maybe it's going against any ethics, But I'm not going to keep you under my employment when you don't love my country as much as I do, because it's a clear line. All right, people who are supporting Tinubu, for example, I'm going to call his name. Fuck that. People who are supporting Tinubu, for example, are only doing it because of personal gains, or people who like, I copied this from Lizzie. A friend of mine posted something on Saturday that I found and I reposted it. I found very, very, very smart. If you're supporting Tinubu, it's either, you have a direct link to his family, you are benefiting from it directly one way or the other for him to win, or just you're benefiting from his, because the man has stolen so much money and he has gotten so much illegal money. You can't have that much money and not be doing good to people, you get? So those are the people who are supporting him and aggressively supporting him, or people who are in cliques and then the alpha in that clique is a Tinubu supporter and you don't want to seem like the black sheep or seem out of place. That is why I'm supporting Tinubu. Nobody really looks at it and analyzes all candidates and says, let's see who's going to move this country forward, and it's like, Tinubu will move this country. Nobody does. You have to be an absolute moron to sit on your own and make that conclusion. I say that with my full chest. So what I think about campaigns in churches, 100% I'm all for it, right? As long as you're campaigning for OB. I know that's partial to say, but this country, the fuck partiality. It has never been fair. This country has never been fair to me, to you, to anybody. So there's no point in me trying to say, as long as you're campaigning, you can campaign for anybody in church. No, if you're campaigning for OB in churches, then yes, because that's the kind of change we need. That's the kind of radical change we need. Listen, thank you very much, guys, for listening. I appreciate all the love, and I hope we get what we want at the end of the day. Have a nice week. Bye.